Good morning, thriving warriors. Alexa, what is the date?
Today is Wednesday, January 25th.
Okay, cool. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:08 a.m.
Great. And Alexa, what is the weather? Alexa, what is the weather?
Right now in Amargosa Valley, it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Today's forecast has lots of sun, with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 35 degrees.
Excellent. Okay, here we are, Department of Career Services, Thriving Warrior, where our goal is simple. It's to help you get from point A to point B. And that is a journey. I should say it's to help you along the journey from point A to point B, where point B is better. A, B. B is better. That's what we do. How do we do it? Good morning, Diana. How do we do it? We do it through a series of breadcrumbs that you follow along the journey to point B. That's it. Very simple. This is the first breadcrumb. Down in the description below, please subscribe, thumbs up, share, click bell. You know the thing. Please do all that because the goal isn't just to do it, it's to get other people to do it. That's power, getting other people to do what you want. So this is the first breadcrumb, this video. Down below in the description, please subscribe, are a number of other breadcrumbs, like 8 other breadcrumbs. There is the link to our 4-week basic training course, our online course, a neuroscience-oriented approach to success. There's a link to the motivational video, which I watch to prepare for this video every day. There's a link to the TED Talk that goes with where we are in our 4-week basic training course. Here we are, week 4, day 3. This is now practical, pragmatic leadership. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Then there is a link to a little short Jordan Peterson video about how to internally and externally act in the world to help you become a breadcrumb along the path. There is a link to an ink article. It's not a video, it's an article on how to be more successful at work. There is a link to our Bible studies, Baraka Church in Houston, a link to the library there. There's a list of all of the other services we provide our members. Let's see, Charlene just entered the main. There she is. Good morning, Charlene. There. Okay. Housing, clothing, food, hygiene, transportation, skills training, foundational employment, and we got a new good employer yesterday from Jeff, like $18 an hour. Foundational employment, career planning. There is also the transcript to Seth Godin's daily blog, something he's been doing for over 20 years. All of that is contained in this thing below. So if you spend an hour a day doing this, that will help you, will be a great help on your journey to point B. So let's get ready to start. Pull out the things that we need to start. Number 1, coffee. Coffee. There are proven scientific reasons why coffee is important, which we don't have time. And I'm not really sure of, because I might have just made that up, but I'm not positive. Coffee. Mine has coconut oil in it. Pen. Notebook to write in. Half works. And let's move to our next breadcrumb. So our approach is, you want to get from point A to point B. It's simple, not easy. It's simple, not easy. It's simple, and then we have a daily meme. And what is a meme, Diana? Right. A meme is an idea that spreads from brain to brain. So it's simple, GIGO. Remember, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Simple, garbage in, garbage out. Okay, now let's go to our daily affirmation, our daily thing. Good. Right, Diana. Our daily thing. I am so happy and grateful now that what? Write it down. I'm so happy and grateful now that. Okay, mine is I'm so happy and grateful now that it's kind of gelling around here. People are getting into their routines. We currently have 5 students or 4 students and 1 veteran. And it's starting to gel, starting to get a daily routine going. So that's kind of cool. Great. All right, moving right along because time is racing. What are you selecting to change in your life? Okay, so a meme from today's video. What are you selecting to change in your life? It's like a jukebox. Good morning, Charlene. It's like a jukebox. The jukebox plays the song you pick. So if you're not changing anything, don't be surprised when nothing changes. It's really simple. You want to get from point A to point B, change where you are today, right? If you want to get from point A to point B, but you don't move, not going to get there. Believe me, 1 million billion people, 6 Brazilian people, and 5 Italians. A lot of people through the history of time have thought, I can stay where I am, and as the world changes, it will propel me into a better place. I don't need to change. The world is changing, and if I stay where I am, the world will change such that I am better. Not really a great strategy. Maybe it works for some. Not really a great strategy. Oh, GIGO. GIGO means garbage in, garbage out. Okay, this is along the theme of picking the jukebox. Garbage in, garbage out. It's a computer programming term. Well, it probably came from something before that. Okay, so moving right along. Next meme, next breadcrumb, bleep. You have your wants, and then you have what are you doing to get what you want? And in between is a gap. You want to narrow that gap. I want to get a college degree. This is hypothetical because I already have my college degree and my law degree, my JD. Here's what I want. Here's what I'm doing to get it. Or here's what I need to do to get it. I need to go to law school. Okay. If I close the gap, now what? What am I doing? I'm going to law school. Diana's a good example of that. She wants to get her undergraduate degree. What does she want? Her undergraduate degree. What does she need? Go to school. And guess what she's doing? What are you doing, Diana? Diana is going to school. Boom. Good system. Input leads to output. Input leads to output. Let's for a second jump to our spirituality and praying. Praying is important, vital, and we can see from a neuroscience perspective, praying works. However, praying without action generally doesn't lead to anything. If you say to God, well, please, God, solve this problem. And then when you're done, say, okay, I don't need to worry about it anymore. God is going to do it. I can just sit in my room under my covers. And when I wake up, or I'll get out of bed as soon as God has done the work. Wrong. No, we are God's agents in the world. Though, footnote, God doesn't need us. Okay, God doesn't need us for anything. But we are God's agents in the world. So if you ask, if you pray, you will get insight. Some say it's the Holy Spirit. If you're Catholic, you might say it's the intercession of a saint. Catholics don't pray to saints. They ask saints to intercede for them. Don't pray to saints. Anyway, next subject. Garbage in, garbage out. GIGO. Okay, moving right along. Today's TED Talk. We started the week. This is leadership on our metaphor of the car. This is now this week. Don't crash the car. You know how to drive the car. You've got the right people in the car. You know where you're going. What do you need to do? Not crash the car. Just execute. Leadership. We've got to make sure everybody who's in the car stays in the car, does their role in the car. Somebody might be the navigator. Somebody might be the song leader. Somebody might be the person who prepares the food or does whatever. Maybe some people don't have a role while you're on the journey, but they will help when you get there. Okay, but you got to keep people in the car. And you got to keep on the journey to Successville. You can't get part of the way there and then say, golly gee, maybe we should go over here. Maybe we should go over there. Maybe we shouldn't have gone anywhere. Maybe we should go all the way back. Keep going on the journey. Have confidence in yourself. Pray for guidance. And then just keep going. Don't stop. Someone might need to wash the dishes. Well, probably don't have too many dishes in the car, Diana, but certainly we need to maintain higher and higher standards. Take the time. Some people, stable connection is unstable. Okay, so some people think their outward appearance is not important. I don't need to shave. What's the big deal, man? People need to accept me as I am. Well, the problem is we're always judging one another. First law of power. Power perceived is power achieved. We're going to talk about the laws of power tomorrow. Laws of power. Number 1. Okay, that's for tomorrow. All right, great. Time is racing, 12:29 in. Okay, so this week is how do we keep people moving forward in the car? Right, okay, disposable dishes. Thank you, Diana. All right, you go to McDonald's and you get containers. Those are dishes of sorts. All right, so this week, now we've got our people in the car. We know how to drive the car. We know where we're going. We just don't crash. And we learn there's the spectrum, right? So we have crisis leadership, which we started on Monday with Nancy Keene, Professor Nancy Keene from Harvard, who is a supporter of our school. And then on Tuesday, we went to the other extreme, pure leadership. So crisis leadership, pure leadership, stoicism, Marcus Aurelius. And now the rest of the week, we're going to focus on practical leadership because we're not always going to be in crisis, but we need to know how to handle it. And we're probably never going to be in a situation where we're the emperor of the world and we can have whatever we want. And the point of that is testing the limits of stoicism, where moral virtue is enough. If it worked for the emperor of the world, it can work for us. The emperor of the world who could have anything he wanted at any time. If stoicism worked for him, it can work for us. Okay, now we come back to the middle, practical leadership. And the example we use of that is Ignatius of Loyola, Ignatius Lopez de Lopez. Ignatius Lopez de Loyola, I think that was probably his technical name, Ignacio. Okay, so it's a guy after our own heart. Started out one way, bam, life crisis, totally changed his life, had to reinvent himself, prayed for most of his waking hours. At a certain point when he was living in a cave, whipping himself at night, often for the sins of his past because he couldn't get over them. And then received insight from the Lord, from God, and then crawled his way out of his mental despair, ran into problems once again with the law, kept going forward, had to go back to school, Go back to school. Segue. That's what we're doing here. Go back to school, relearn fundamentals before he could go to university. Going to university, getting kicked out, or it wasn't what he was looking for. Going to another university, this country is too small for my ambitions. And then ending up at the University of Paris, where he met his first followers, Xavier and Peter. Xav and Peter. And then the rest is history. So that's where we start this week. So it's a guy after our own heart, had a life, crashed, burned into the mountain, but he didn't give up and he prayed. And he had problems with the law, went to, at that time it was jail, was incarcerated, had the authorities, the courts, at that time, the Inquisition, much worse than our court today, because if you lose in the Inquisition, you could be burned at the stake, not just in prison. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be learning, and we'll find out that he had huge impact on the world, still does today, and if he could do that, we can do something. All righty then. Let's move on to Seth Godin. Time is racing. What do you do around here? Okay. Morning. You can start with the coffee, or the coffee needs to be poured in the thing. What do we do around here? There are lots of useful, honest answers. Some might include, I do what I'm told. I challenge the status quo. I show up on time. I solve complicated problems. I absorb nonsense and create calm for others. I raise our standards. I help people feel seen. I'm steady. I don't cause trouble. I bring energy. I lead the way. I turn mountains into molehills. People like me. The ones that aren't helpful are things like, I'm just passing through. I give people a hard time. I'm a bully. I make mountains out of molehills. Okay, Seth Godin, really good one. Sorry we don't have time because time is racing. We're at 17:20 in, and people are preparing for the Proverbs lesson after this. Ed Godin. Life is like a table. You're building a table, 4 legs, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. They have to be solid. 3-legged table doesn't work. We're still working on our Apex Predator program, Navy SEAL Maxim. Yesterday was the only easy day. And if you're still here, what does that mean, Diana? What does that mean, Charlene? God is not through with you yet. And with that, I will say, and cut. And cut.